Good evening. Today is Monday, November 7th, 2022. This is a regular session of the Board of the School Trustees of the School City of East Chicago. The time is now 6:04 p.m. The place is School City of East Chicago Administration Building, 1401 East 144th Street, and this is in East Chicago, Indiana, 46312. And this is also being streamed live via www.stec.k12.in.us. This is a meeting of the school board in public for the purpose of conducting the school corporation's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. The first item on the agenda will be roll call.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Present.
Trustee Gomez?
Present.
Trustee Williams?
Present.
Trustee Smith?
Present.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Present. Can we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? The next item on the agenda will be let's go back. If we could approve the agenda, item 3.01. I did. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Madam President, I move for approval.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Any questions? Is there any comments from the community in regards to item 3.01? Ms. Bigum?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. The next item is item number 4, presentations. And Dr. Brago, you could go.
Yes. Board members, we have 4 presentations today. We have Lincoln Elementary, who's going to be highlighting all the good things going on in their school. And that's going to be followed by Block and Central High School, who will be reviewing their school improvement plans with our board. And then the final presentation will be Attorney Dixon on the tentative teacher agreement. So first up will be Lincoln Elementary, please.
Is our PowerPoint set up? Sorry.
And then Ms. Gonzalez, make sure you please use the microphone so we can hear what you're saying, if you don't mind.
No problem. Sorry.
Thank you.
Say it again.
You can give an intro.
Okay. Good evening, Board of Directors, Honorable Superintendent, staff, and parents. My name is Eliza Gonzalez, and I am the principal, the current principal at Lincoln Elementary School. We are here today to give you some good information about what's going on in our school. As you've seen when you walk in, we have next slide. We have the bulletin board that says, "Fall in love with Lincoln." And yes, we do want you to fall in love with Lincoln. Our teachers and our paras designed that nice board that is in the front, Ms. Cornejo, Ms. Almanzo, and Mr. Rios. And so for Lincoln, we go with the old proverb, "It takes a village to raise a child." Well, for us and our students and our school, Lincoln School is that village. The Cardinal family has 293 students and many wonderful teachers that work with the staff each day to make sure that our kids are fed, our kids are having a good time, our kids are learning. And so not only do our teachers and staff do that, we have paraprofessionals that are wonderful. We also have our maintenance people. We have our security team that we all get together and we all talk about what a wonderful day we're going to have for the students that come to our building. Over 50% of our teaching staff are new, and that's a great thing. The principal, myself, is new, and we have a new assistant principal coming. The learning curve is real, and I really have to give a shout out to three staff members holding it down for us, our consultant, Linda Randolph, our dean, Tinner, and our clerk, Ms. Spittings. They have been there for the last year holding it down for us, and we have to give them a lot of recognition for that. Again, I am the principal of the school. I want to thank our superintendent for giving me the opportunity to lead this wonderful school. I am a 1975 graduate and salutatorian of Field School, so if I say Field School, excuse me. I lived on Block right there in subsidized housing for many years. I graduated from the school. We had a fantastic principal at the time, Mr. Williams, who taught us that making sure that we understand that challenges are opportunities for growth. And so that's how we see things. We do have a great staff. We work together. Do we always agree? Absolutely not. But we come together because we want to make sure that our kids get the best education that they can and the best activities that they can have in our school. Going forward for students, We're going to do a lot of group activities. The auditorium is getting ready to be used. We're going to use that for a warming spot for students who come early to the school. We're going to have a talent show. The Student Council has organized a talent show that will take place sometime in December. We're also going to have an in-house field trip. We're going to have the Harriet Tubman play come to our school, as well as a Christmas carol. There will be a spring concert, and we will have a sixth grade graduation. So we are very happy about that, as well as the students and staff. Lincoln School is also an A1 special education program. We are housed by the district at the self-contained site. We have 30 wonderful students in our programs for moderate and severe K-6 programs and emotional ED programs also K-6. Our NWEA data and math and reading, just as I said, we have challenges and opportunities. Our math, we need opportunity to improve, in which we are. 64% of our first graders are at yellow, but our reading is our strength. And the state is now focusing on literacy because across the state, students have not done well, but our students have done good in reading. And again, we are still following up with that to make sure that they do even better. I also want to give the shout out to our elementary director, Mrs. Gutierrez, and our on-site instructional coach, Mr. Rios. They are going into the classrooms, providing interventions, providing formative assessments so that our students will exceed where they're at in math and reading. We also have win time for growth in those areas. But I also want to give a great shout out to our parents. Our school attendance rate for the first 3 months, thank you, Lincoln parents. In August, students had a 93% attendance rate. In September, students had a 94 attendance rate. And in October, students had a 92% attendance rate. That, we are looking, of course, always to increase that, but we again want to thank the parents at Lincoln School. Lincoln School has their culture and climate. We're increasing our sports, our clubs, our field trips. We have boys basketball, girls volleyball, boys cross country, girls cross country. We have a student council club that has organized different events, as well as a newspaper photography club. We will be starting a patrol club, as well as a breakfast club. The student council has led a harvest dance. We had great participation with that. The students had a great time. I think when students make their own decisions and work with the staff, things turn out well. Our girls placed first place in cross country, thanks to Superintendent Abrego for putting that together. They look forward, as well as the boys, to continuing their cross country endeavors. And I wanted to showcase what we have at our school. We have our Lincoln cheerleaders that is coached by Mrs. Bonilla. If you guys can come forward, please. They visited us. Our parents are here. Our students are here.
There.
Where would you like them, here or there?
Doesn't matter.
You need the space.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, you guys can just get formation. Guys will be facing this way, so imagine this is the gym.
I'm sorry?
Is it better for them to stand here?
Yeah, you guys probably better up here. Ms. Bonilla, why don't you do in the front?
Okay, that's what I was.
Yeah, why don't you go in the front, Ms. Bonilla?
Over here, there's a camera right there.
We have Melody Rowe from 5th grade. We have Sanaya Hunter from 6th grade. Ryan Taylor from 6th grade. Jamia Williams in kindergarten. Deanna Moore in 5th grade. And Samaya in the 4th grade. Samaya Brown, I'm sorry. So we just wanted to give you a flavor of Lincoln.
So this is a small piece they've been working on not too long. If anybody is interested in sponsoring us to get our uniforms, we would love that. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the Lady Lincoln partnership. We got that Lincoln pride, Cardinals for life. We got that Lincoln pride, Cardinals for life. We got that Lincoln pride, it's flying high. It's flying, it's flying, it's flying high. Lincoln.
And again, I think our school is represented by the wonderful students that we have in our school. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bonilla.
Thank you very much.
Thank,
Ms. Gonzalez, are you done with your presentation so we can get
Yes,
to
I
the-
am
Okay.
completed my presentation.
Okay, thank you very much. We really appreciate that. And then we have another presentation coming up, and that will be from Block Middle School.
We usually have time where they go ask me questions for them.
I'm sorry. I'll do that after this one.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, I'm Elsie Quiroga, principal from Block Middle School, and this is my partner, Kelly Hildebrand, assistant principal. We're here today to go over our 2022-23 school improvement plan, which is the SIP.
Okay, the goals in our school improvement plan come from our iLearn data. And we've posted the last 2 years of our spring data. In 2021, you can, it's very hard to see. You can, oh, okay, yeah. In seventh grade, in 2021, 11% of our students were proficient in English language arts. And when you look at the spring 2022, they were eighth grade, and they had increased their proficiency to 20%. For math, those seventh graders in 2021 were 3% proficient, and then when they took the test in 2022, it was 2% proficient. And we've had a lot of issues with filling those vacancies, and math has been a struggle getting highly qualified teachers in there, but it's something that we are working on. Oops. This is our attendance, and you can see that over the past few years, it is on the uprise. In 2021, this was the year that COVID was still an issue in our buildings. We spent part of the year remote learning, and getting the students to log in was a challenge. You know, we were making lots of phone calls. And then about halfway in the year, we had the students, some of the students in the building. But by the end of the year, our attendance rate was 82.04. In 2021-2022 school year, we had increased it to 94.21. And then for this year, from August to October, it's 94.74. And then I included the monthly attendance rate for this year. We started off above the 95% in August, and we slipped a little bit below that 95%, but we have strategies in place to increase the attendance.
However, may I, Block School happens to be competitive with all the schools, and we happen to be on top of attendance the 3 months. And not only attendance for students, but also staff. So we're really proud to say that. Thank you, Kelly. Let's take a look at the suspension data. Block follows the guidelines of the student handbook to issue consequences for different violations. The school year, you can see that we have had problems with disruptive behavior. In September, if you take a look, there were 27 suspensions for disruptive behavior. In October, it has gone down to 23 suspensions and disruptive behavior. And we'll talk about it later about the interventions to help us decrease those numbers. The second highest offense is insubordination. In September, we had 13 suspensions with insubordination, and right now we're at 22. So that is our main focus, insubordination. Again, later on, we're going to talk about interventions to decrease those numbers. The third highest offense is fighting. In September, 19 suspensions and fighting, and now in October, we have 17. So with, again, interventions, they are decreasing. We're constantly working on ways to help our students avoid suspensions. Let's take a look at the next page. Based on the data that we just shared with you, we've come up with some goals for block of 2022-23 school year. Let's take a look at goal number 1. Is that by spring of 2023, 50% of our students in 7th and 8th grade will demonstrate mathematical growth as measured by the iLearn assessment. Our second goal is that for spring of 2023, 50% of our students in 7th and 8th will demonstrate English language arts growth and as measured by iLearned assessment. Throughout the year 2023 school year, Block will progressively implement SEL supports as part of the school's MTSS framework that systematically facilitates data-based decisions-making around providing the tiered academic, behavior, and social support as indicated by decrease in suspension, improved attendance, and an improvement in student and staff climate and culture and data. If you take a look, achieving our goals, the first two columns are ELA and math. We're using the same strategies. We're implementing the new program beyond textbooks to ensure that we are reteaching standards that students are not mastering. We have curriculum maps that are used to guide the instruction to ensure we are teaching the priority standards. We have created a research calendar for teachers to use each day to target the focused standards. Teachers are also using the computer program iExcel as a resource. We have implemented an English lab and a math lab. This is where the students will be getting reteaching or enrichment that needed based on the formative assessment in their core English and math classes. We have weekly professional learning communities, PLCs we call it. We will be spending time looking at data from the formative assessments and grouping students with what they need so small groups instruction can take place in the labs. We also have Youth Plus program with communities and schools. They provide tutoring for students 4 days a week after school. Okay.
Now, achieving our attendance goals takes a lot of interaction with parents. We do a lot of phone calls. We send letters out in the mail. We send our truancy officer out to do home visits when needed. We have attendance meetings with parents where they sign the attendance contract. And then based on those conversations with the parents, we refer parent cafe services. And then also we're implementing awards to our students for perfect attendance and for our staff. To achieve our goal in suspensions, we have behavior plans that we have put in place for some students. There's check-in, check-outs. We do overnight suspensions, and that's so that we don't want to suspend students. This will force like a meeting with the parent. And then we use our community partner Infinity that counsels a lot of our students. We have mentoring with communities in school. Our social worker puts interventions in place too. We have after-school detention, and then our student support team meets twice a month. And on one of those meetings, we do talk about students that we need to focus on that are struggling maybe with academics, attendance, and behavior. And we talk specifically what we're going to do with those specific students. And then there's also sessions with the counselors. For achieving our goal with the climate, we do the surveys. There are celebrations. We have dress down days that are related to the goals that we have. We had a sock hop last month, and we're going to do something every month for students that do not have any suspensions, and that was a big success. We do the school-wide Zooms every day so that we have that face-to-face interaction with our students and staff. There's an ice cream social that's in the works. We have American Education Week coming up, which we've got some fun things planned. And then in December, there's a Spirit Week coming up, which looks like a lot of fun. And then we do family nights, which last month we did a Loteria night, and it was a big success. There were a lot of families that came. We had some students performing, and we got to play some fun games, and there were a lot of prizes.
Good.
That's the end of our presentation.
Thank you very much, Block School. And then, I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance, but board members, do you have any questions for them, or can they answer anything for you?
I just had a question regarding the Lincoln 64% yellow. Ms. Gonzalez, do you know how many are in the green right now?
No, when I do
Oh.
plan, I will be able
Thank you.
all that.
Okay,
Wanted to highlight.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Are there any other questions for Ms. Quiroga or Ms. Gonzalez? If not, we could go to the next. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Our next presentation will be from Central High School.
And congratulations on your attendance for staff and students, Ms. Q.
Is ours next? Oh, okay. Good evening, everyone. First of all, I'll say congratulations. Good job, Lincoln, on your presentation today. All right. All right, I'm Abraham Brown, the principal at East Chicago Central. I have with me today Mr. Dave Tokars, our instructional leader, and our CTE director, Mrs. Lee. So we'll be going over the goals for our SIP plan for this upcoming year. First of all, at East Chicago Central, we want all our kids to be one of three or all three if possible, college, career, and military ready to enroll, enlist, or be employed upon graduation. All right, our first school improvement goal is our attendance and graduation rate. We're looking for a 4.8% increase in our attendance rate, reduce the number of students with 10 or more absences, 6.9% increase in our graduation rate, and reduce the number of students utilizing a graduation waiver.
Our second school improvement goal revolves around the ELA and math proficiency and the SAT. As we know, the SAT is the new high school accountability test, which was implemented last spring for the first time. We were here in June. We shared quite a bit of the data in regards to our ELA and math proficiency. So this year, we are looking for a 7.7% increase in students achieving the proficiency in ELA. That should take us closer to a 30% pass rate. A 7% increase in students achieving proficiency in math. That should take us closer to 15%. And then, of course, we want a 95% participation rate on all parts of the state assessment. Last year, we just missed it by a couple of percent, so we're making sure that we have all of our students participate in the SAT come this March of 2023.
Okay. Our third goal narrows it down a little bit more. We're focusing on our special education population with ELA and math. So our third goal is that teachers and instructional leadership participating in co-teaching will collaborate through the 2022-2023 school year to dynamically implement the 6 models of co-teaching in order to increase student outcomes of special education students as indicated by. So this is where we're looking for a 9.6 increase in members of the subgroup achieving proficiency in ELA, which would take us to about 22%. Next is 11.2 increase in members of the subgroup achieving proficiency in math, which would take us close to a little bit over a 17% proficiency in math.
And this slide here just highlights some of the things that have been taking place at East Chicago Central. Ms. Lee took two young ladies to our ladies-in-law. We have up there our data wall that we just put up by our red stairwell. College, we have took the PSAT this year, the ASVAB. We just got those scores back, so we'll be able to update that data pretty soon for us. And then just some more things where we highlighted down there to the bottom right. We celebrated our teachers the last time we had PD. Our band did their last Friday. They performed with their new uniforms. And just some of the things that's going on in East Chicago Central, just wanted to take some pictures and share with y'all tonight. And once again, our focus is making sure all our kids is college, career, and military ready upon graduation. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Brown, how many kids do you have enrolled in the ROTC?
We have 40 to 50 students.
Okay, do they compete with the other schools?
Yes, they just did a competition in Hobart.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Uh-huh. And then they also will be at the Veterans Day event this Thursday for the city.
Good, thank you very much. And then, board members, do you have any questions about Central High School?
Just a follow-up, I think on a previous question, Mr. Brown, did you ever find out the graduation rate, the statewide graduation rate? And where do we compare with them?
We're about 65%.
Right now, we are almost at 65%.
And the state is at what, where's the state at?
I don't have that information.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with this 7% increase, is that? would you-
That'll take us to about
70%.
71%.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from board members?
Madam President,
Go ahead, trustee.
Mr. Brown, with
Yes.
regards to attendance, can you give us a quick overview on attendance again? I'm not sure if you presented it, because I really didn't, it was going so quickly, so.
When you say overview as far as what our goal is for attendance?
Yeah, the goal for attendance, I know for the previous principals have mentioned about the attendance in terms of where they want to be within a certain, within their goals. So I was wondering if that was also presented today with regards to your goals as far as attendance.
So our goal is obviously to increase our attendance from top to bottom. So last year, our attendance rate was 87.86. So if we go about a 4.8 increase, that'll get us to 92.66.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much to the three of you for all the information. Anyone else?
No, I just want to add, Mr. Brown, we're keeping track of everybody's attendance, and I believe this year you guys are at 89%. So if you are able to increase to that 4.8, you're going to be like 94%, 95. So good job on monitoring your attendance. We appreciate that.
Yes. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
All right.
Thank you. And then we do have one more presentation at this time. I'd like to ask Attorney Dixon to give us a presentation of the tentative teacher agreement.
Thank you.
Madam President, members of the board, I'm very pleased to bring you a tentative agreement. We've met as a negotiation team. On my team was Ms. Simmons, Dr. Mitchell, with the teachers. Ms. Steinbeck is here representing the teachers. We had a very productive negotiation session, I feel. This meeting here is required by statute. We have to have this meeting, if you can see on the bottom, we had a public hearing on September 14th. This public hearing, then the board will tentatively vote on this on November 10th. We also have to say that negotiations began after September 15th. By law, they have to start after September 15th and be concluded by November 15th. This is a one-year deal. By law, this year, we can only do a one-year agreement. Next year, every other year, you can do a two-year deal. If you look on the third page, this is the teacher compensation model. Halfway through, through ERB, we have to say what we gave last year is $43,000, the range to $76,592. This year, we were fortunate enough, we were recommending to give a $4,500 raise, which would, under the new higher language, that would mean that the range will be $45,000 to $81,092. That is for fully licensed for emergency permit. That is $2,000, $1,500 less. And the reason we do that, we did that last year The reason we did that is it's providing an incentive for an emergency permit teacher to get their certification. Now, if they do get that, then we will prorate that. We can't put that in there. We got dinged on that last year. They said you cannot say that. Mr. Gomez?
Mr. Dixon, I'm missing, Attorney Dixon, I'm missing pages 2 and 3 here.
Yes, these are the amendments, pages 2 and 3. Anything that was changed in the contract, the whole contract will be on the website. I didn't want to print out an entire contract. These are just the changes.
Okay.
On the next page, we're also offering or recommending a $700 stipend. And once again, these raises will, for employees that have received an evaluation, an effective or highly effective evaluation last year. If they have not, they will not be eligible. On the next page, page 9, that's number 7. Last year, we had COVID language. We had a sunset provision on our COVID language, because hopefully this will eventually maybe go away. And so last year, we had the language that I believe they had 14 days they could be out. Now, the new recommendations is 5 days. So we changed it to 5 days. We've also included that they must show a PCR test. And once again, there's a sunset clause, May 26th of 2023, unless it's renegotiated and this goes away. Under your next page, under the maternity leave. Right now, under B, if a teacher it says all or any portion of a leave taken by a teacher because of temporary disability caused by pregnancy may be charged at her discretion to her available sick leave. So if they had a temporary disability, they could take sick leave days. However, for some reason, if it was just a normal pregnancy, they could not do that. At their discretion, we added that they may be able to use, they can use at their discretion, their sick days during a regular pregnancy. These next pages is old insurance or benefit language for retirement. These people are gone. So the next 3, 4, 5, 6 pages is just going to be struck. The next page, 31 at the bottom, Article 9, insurance. We has the increase on the insurance. We split that with the teachers to maintain the same percentage of what we paid for insurance last year. Ms. Simmons, I think we were at around 80-20, correct? Okay, and so we will still maintain the 80-20. And those are the new insurance rates. On the next page, page 32, this is duration of the agreement. Once again, it's 1 year. However, what ERB makes us do at the bottom there, you have to sign twice. You have to attest that a public hearing was held in compliance with this on November 4th, and then also on November 7th that it was voted on. So it's a double signature. To me, it doesn't make sense. You've signed off on it last year. However, they would like a double signature on that, so that's what we do. The next page, this is for elementary. You did have a technology coordinator. That's been changed to technology leader. At the middle school, on the next page, the same thing at the top, technology leader. Finally, at the high school, on the next page, same thing. On page 38, the last page, we've added esports for a head coach and for an assistant. So it's $4,000 for the head coach and $1,900 for the assistant. This will be, the next meeting has to be 72 hours after this one. I believe tentatively you have a meeting set up for Thursday night at 6 o'clock to vote on this. Are there any questions?
Yes.
Yes.
Board, is there any questions from you guys? You have any questions? The item on page 5.
Mm-hmm.
So we are adding the years of service, that's new, or is,
What,
I know there was just discussion about it, so I just wanted to make sure that this is,
so under, if you're talking about under C, what we're doing is, it's, some calls it closing the gap. What happens is, as teachers that have been here for a while, because teachers are, it's hard to get teachers anymore, so they're having to pay people coming in more and more money to come in. So what that means is that somebody that maybe is only here a couple years, 2, 3 years, may be making close to what somebody is that's been here like maybe 8 or 9, 10 years, based upon the need. So what this does is kind of closes the gap, which is why if you've been here 1 to 5 years, you get the 500, 6 to 10, the 2,000, and the 11 plus the 3,000, plus the 1,500 for evaluation rating and years of experience. You have to have different different qualifications for that, or eligibility, I'm sorry.
so then with the fact that, I mean, we want to keep teachers here for a longer value. After I hit my 11 years, I'm never going to go up even anymore.
No, everybody, you will go up, and that's why.
No, I'm saying, but I'll just receive the 3,000 annually, right?
Depending on what's negotiated. You will get the 3,000 like here. However, you've gone up 3,000 if you've been here 11 plus years. Now, next year, if they continue that, if it goes, we do the same thing, they will get another 3,000 and increase the gap from the people that have been hired much after them. So all the teachers, even back when we had salary schedules, whatever the top, if everybody got 2,000, everybody went up to 2,000. So at some point in time, what we've done, I think it was 2 years ago, instead of doing it this way, everybody just got a flat amount.
Right.
And so everybody moved up the same. But this, we've done this the past, I believe, 2 years now, Helen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I do remember. I know, as we were discussing salary schedules for administrators as well as just lay other staff, the conversation has came up about the teachers being back on the salary schedule and if we were going to or not. And I thought that was going to be reflected this year in this, I guess, item right here, but it was not discussed then. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Simmons?
Salary schedule is not highly recommended by the ERB group. So that's one reason why we did not steer towards the salary schedule this year, is because of the gaps. And if we try to fill in the gaps and put it on the salary schedule, some people can get a high increase, some people can get a low increase. So that's the reason why we didn't steer with the salary schedule this year.
Okay. Yeah, I was just saying, I talked to Dr. Abrego the other day, and we discussed about where the money is coming from. As the board, we have to oversee the budget. And, to me, I would see that we would want to put more money into our teachers than anyone else, but that's why I thought that salary schedule was going to be discussed. So that's one thing. The second thing is, because the esports have been so highly, I guess, popular, good word. Is there a conversation of putting it at the junior high? And if so, why did we not discuss it in this compensation? I know we've talked about it, but you would think that we would put it in here.
Can answer that a little bit.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Our IT director probably can answer that a little bit more for why we have not increased it over to the middle school just yet.
Well, we didn't know it was going to be this popular at the high school, so we are expecting some extension of it to, just like any other sport where you kind of model your younger kids to go to the higher level. So yeah, that's in conversation, but again, we didn't think it was going to be this popular, so.
So then, isn't this something that we want to put on this now, and then, just to have the money available, just in case it actually happens? Because when would the season be?
Just like any other sport at the beginning of every semester. So the next season will be in January. And there is, in the league that we're in, which is a state league, There's also middle school and unified. So there's 3 different avenues.
My 2 cents?
Sure.
If we were just talking about for budget purposes, I would
Yes.
understand doing that, but I think for contractual purposes, which is what we have here, we probably don't want to get ahead of their planning phase. So when we do talk about the budget for '23 or any changes to that budget, you may want to incorporate adding junior high, but for the agreement, I just don't think they're ready yet, and you don't want to contract for it, because then that's a specific obligation that you're making on behalf of the district, and it doesn't sound like they're quite there yet.
So then, CFO, are we gonna, prepare for that for the upcoming year? Because I feel like that's something that's, like I said, highly popular at the high school, and I for sure would think that it would work at the junior high.
Right now, we'll probably go to the same process that we went through with adding this sport first, seeing the
The numbers.
outcome of it, the numbers of it, and then we'll go back to the union if we have to do an MOU at that time, and then it added in as an MOU before the next school year.
Okay.
So, yeah, we're going to run it the same way that we ran to bring it into the high school, get our numbers, and then we'll go to the union to ask for MOU to get the extra ECA account added.
Thanks. And Ms. Bigham, with the contract, I know he's going to put, or it's going to be put on the website, this is what he stated. Can we make sure, because I know I asked in our agenda meeting to have the entire contract be given to us, to the entire board. Can you make sure to have that for the special meeting, the entire contract and our board docs? Just because if people want to go back to revert to it, then we can as we search. Are there any other questions? Is there any public comment in regards to the contract? With no public comment being heard, then we will move to the next item on our agenda. Thank you, Mr. Dixon.
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
before we move on, I know there's some children in the audience, and if the parents or teachers, administrators want to get them home, this might be a good opportunity for them to exit before we conduct the rest of this business.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming.
It's hard for them.
Yeah, they have tire tips and the board. I know I would be.
Thank you. And everyone has a letter, Ms. Bonilla. The next item on the agenda will be old business. The first item that we have will be 5.01, and it's the approval of Director of Food Services salary schedule, Dr. Abrego.
Yes, we're asking approval for this position. Currently, we don't have a salary scale for this position, and we would like to have one approved today. Hopefully, if we get that approved, then we'll be moving forward with the next step, and that is to get a food service director.
Thank you. Is there any comments from the audience? Is there a motion for approval?
Madam President, I move for approval.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval. Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Are there any questions? Just to make mention, Dr. Abrego, again, we're adding on a new salary schedule. I hope that we have a work session soon in regards to the administrative salary schedules in its entirety. I know you said you want to be compliant with this item, but we need to be compliant with all of them, if I remember correctly. So I look forward to having that meeting in November. Ms. Bigham?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 5.02, approval of employee handbook 2022/23. Dr. Abrego?
Yes, again, this item, the administration met on several occasions with the representatives of the teachers' union. We made some adjustments to the verbiage, so at this time, we are both in agreement with the verbiage on the handbook, so we're asking for approval on that also.
Thank you. Is there a comment from the audience? Is there a motion for approval?
Madam President, make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Are there any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez?
has the employee handbook language changed since it was last presented to the board?
Is that a question to me, Mr. Gomez?
Has the language in the handbook changed since it was last presented to the board?
Yes, we've added two changes. One was we took out the word running shoes, and then on the jeans, we added jeans and spirit wear. So those were the only two changes.
Okay.
You did not change the mission statements? I thought you did. To reflect what's approved. You changed them?
The mission statement was correct on this one, the one that was board approved.
So then we just have to go back and change the student handbook?
I guess, but we're not talking about the student handbook today. We're talking about this item.
No, well, I understand. I just want to make sure that
Yeah.
that's correct, and then we just go back to change the
The-
student handbook.
Yes, this is the correct mission and vision statement, so all the others should reflect this one.
Okay. And, my question, we discussed, my question is going to be, so in our policy, it does not state that the board says that we do not have any jeans, and it does not state that you cannot wear tennis shoes. It does not state all the stuff that is verbatimly put on this handbook. So I just want, because the problem is that the teachers assume that we're the ones who said you cannot wear jeans, you cannot wear running shoes, you cannot, that's not what we're saying. Our policies is very vague. Superintendent with the teachers union are the ones that are saying we're okay with not wearing jeans in school. So as long as Helen's okay with that, as the teacher union president, and you, Dr. Abrego, then I told you I would support this. But if that's not what the teachers union wanted, then I'm not okay with that. So,
Well, again, you gave me a directive to meet with the president of the union. I did that. We negotiated, we spoke, we compromised, we collaborated. We were in agreement that we both want this, so she's right there telling you that we did. Would you like to go to the mic and clarify this for us, please?
So somewhere along the line, the extra language was added into our teacher handbook. It was not while I've been president. It was not while I've been a member of the cabinet for the teachers union. And so the solution that we tried to come up with was to amend the language that was added that doesn't, that's after the board policy, to facilitate the ability for the teachers to still participate in Spirit Days, to still wear jeans when the principals say it's okay, and that we would still be professional when we're doing that. Does that make sense? And so we've agreed with the language that Dr. Abrego was presenting to you tonight.
all right, so the next time a teacher says, you, board member, are the ones that said, we can't wear no jeans, I'm going to send them right over to you and to him.
But they can, at the principal's discretion on designated days. That's what it says.
Okay.
Okay.
Are there any other questions from the board members? You good? I'm sorry?
Got it. No, we don't have to do it. We'll do it.
You'd have to ask.
I actually by, so that's okay. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Bigum, please.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee,
Did I not?
Public.
I did ask first.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item 6.01, the minutes for executive session meeting 8.31, 2022, regular session 9/6/2022, regular meeting 09, I'm sorry, this is the consent agenda, I do apologize. Is there a comment to the audience in regards to the consent agenda?
And if I could, just remind the public, I know there was a little confusion there. The board chair is always going to ask first, before there's even a motion on the floor, whether the public has any comment. So
So even if after discussion, we can't go back, it's just the prior to the actual, so,
she reads the agenda item, she'll ask whether the public has any comment.
But we even know what it is.
Well, it'll be read what the item is. If you want to speak on it, you'll get the first chance to speak on it. After that, we'll see if there's a motion, if there's a second, and then the board will have a discussion if it gets on the floor.
so the next item is the consent agenda. Is there a motion, is there anything from the audience? Is there a motion for the approval of consent agenda?
Madam President, make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Are there any questions? I did have one question, and I actually spoke to our CFO in regards to this, and this is in our claim docket. And it's on page 29, and it's the claim 51575.
And I'm going to have Ms. Christina discuss what that claim is for in detail.
Okay.
Good evening. So the claim is for our initiative of science to reading. We have adopted the instructional approach to science and reading. We have 2 full-time coaches. And so part of that program was they analyzed our reading curriculum and gave us some feedback. There were 2 options. One, to purchase 2 of our partnering schools with separate curriculum for reading, or 2, to supplement the pieces from our program that were missing. So one of the pieces for the program that were missing were having paperback decodables available for student practice. After we have instructed with phonemic awareness and phonics, the next instructional practice would be for them to actually have a book to practice. Right now, we do have digital versions, but now that we're back in the building, we had a need for the purchase in the K-2. And ensuring that we had equity among all 4 of our elementary schools, that was a supplemental purchase for all 4 of them, regardless if they were in the Science of Reading program.
So this was something that we've already approved curriculum-wise, and then that's just supporting it?
Correct.
Okay. That was all. Thank you. It was a big amount, and it was, I didn't see it before, 29. And it's 51575. Are there any questions in regards to the consent agenda? Ms. Bigum?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 7.01, approval to accept the Secured School Safety Grant. Dr. Brigham.
Yes, this is a grant that we would like for the board to accept. If we accept it, basically it gives our district $97,500, and that would be for a school resource officer / LEO. So again, we don't want to turn this money down.
Is there any comments from the audience? With none being heard, is there a motion for approval?
Madam President, make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Gomez seconds the motion. Are there any questions?
Just one question. With regards to the performance period, I know it was September 1st to August 31st of 2023. Have we started this program?
No, we have not.
I'm going to step in. Can I have Dr. Mitchell go over the discussion that we had today to start this program?
You have to approve
Thank you,
first.
Dr. Mitchell.
First, I would just like to say good evening. Yes, we haven't started the program. However, I did meet with the chief of police today to go over the program and a couple of other programs, and they're really excited about it. I know that this is a matching grant, so that's going to give us more resources at our school. And what we spoke about today was really what type of school resource officer that we wanted. We said that we wanted a school resource officer that's going to be respectful, not only to the students, but also to the community, and treat our students and community with dignity as they do so. Because what's have occurred over time, I believe, is that we've lost the level of trust between organizations, and we really want to build that back up, but also make it so that police isn't, a school resource officer is not one to be feared or anything like that, but one that to be embraced as a partner. The East Chicago Police Department seems to be 100% on board, and we'll be meeting next week to identify an officer within the East Chicago Police Department to actually fill that position. We hope to have that position filled within the next 2 to 3 weeks. Oh, and when I say filled, bringing that person on board.
Thank you. Are there any other questions from the board? I do have a question. I know this is solely for SRO, because I see that the grant award is $97,000, and the matching would be $97,500. But I guess my question is, because it says like the threat assessment and, again, I go back to what happened a couple weeks ago at St. Stan's, and they were not prepared for something like that to happen. And I do not believe that we've done any type of plan or we don't have anything in place if that were to happen here. And can some of this money be used to have people come in, assess, and put something on paper, teach our teachers, our administrators what to do if a threat were to happen?
Okay, these funds are for the school resource officer. However, we have made made plans to address those issues. One of the plans is to bring in a separate entity to actually do the piece for safe schools and a threat assessment, as well as do some training that we can do in-house. And some of the in-house training is already there within our Safe Schools training portal, where our teachers and our administrators, directors, they all can go through the bullying aspect, CPI, and there's several other trainings that they can do. But really, when it comes down to the school safety, we're going to bring in an expert to really take care of that. There's a number of entities within the state right now that's do it at very minimal to no cost, and that is the county as well as the Indiana State Police. And we've seen that happen at other institutions, and we're investigating that to do that here at this institution to make sure that all of our schools have that assessment done.
Thank you. Any other questions? Ms. Bigum?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 7.02, approval of Ivy Tech MOU.
Yes, board members, each year the School City of Chicago must sign the dual credit agreement with Ivy Tech Community College. The MOU allows for our students to be enrolled at the college and also at the school district level at the same time. The MOU states the approved courses that students can take to receive the dual credit, and also the certifications for the teachers to teach these courses, dual credit courses.
Is there any comment from the audience? Is there a motion for approval?
Madam President, I move for approval.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval.
I'll second.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Are there any questions?
Just one question, Madam President.
Trustee Rodriguez?
With regards to this grant or this MOU, when is the start date?
It's really ongoing. We just have to sign the agreement. It's something we do every year.
Okay. Thank you.
The students have been going to Ivy Tech for classes since the beginning of the school year. Any other questions? Ms. Bigum?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith? Yes. Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Next we'll move to superintendent's remarks.
Yes, board members, I'd just like to announce to the board and our community that Vale Unified School District will be here tomorrow to train our directors, our principals, and our teachers on the Beyond Textbooks 101. That will take place here in the boardroom from 8 o'clock to 11:30. And once again, last time we had members of the community to come and sit in with us, so you're more than welcome to come again tomorrow. That will be here. In the afternoon, what they do is they go to the particular schools and they do the training at all the schools from 12 to 3 o'clock. So that starts tomorrow here at 8 o'clock. Also, last Tuesday, we had our first elementary cross-country city championships. And I want to say congratulations to Lincoln girls. They were the champions. Congratulations. And on the boys division, it was Washington Elementary. We also had the individual winners. Both the boy and the girl were from McKinley School. On the girls' part, it was Malia Morris, who's a sixth grade student. She ran the mile in 7 minutes and 40 seconds. And then the boys, we had a winner was Omar Robinson. He is a fifth grade student, and he ran the mile in 6 minutes and 43 seconds. So we had a great day, and we had a total of 80 runners. So that was a really nice day for everyone. And then a couple other things. On Friday, October 28th, I visited McKinley School, and they dedicated a memorial garden to Anaya Mori Nur Muhammad. And she was a student that passed away June 8th, 2022. And they were very appreciative of the fact that an artist came in and did a mural on their wall, and they have a really nice garden to honor this little girl. So that was a very nice event at McKinley. And the last two are that October 31st to November 17th, the School CDB Chicago is sponsoring our canned food drive. And November 13th through the 19th is American Education Week in all of our schools.
Thank you. The next item we have would be trustee remarks. Are there any trustee remarks?
Madam President.
Trustee Gomez.
Just on the same note of cross-country, we had two East Chicago Central High School grads perform well over the weekend. Delilah Delgado, who's now a senior at St. Xavier, she's majoring in graphic design. She finished 14th. She earned all conference at St. Xavier College or University. She finished time of 20 minutes and 18 seconds. And Enrique Romo, who's a junior now at Olivet Nazarene, he finished a 5-mile race in 25 minutes and 24 seconds, finished 4th place. Both of them are actually now all conference winners, and they'll be running at the national championships on November 19th in Tallahassee, Florida. So good news for a couple of local kids. That's it for me.
Are there any trustee remarks? I wanted to make a couple. First, I just wanted to mention the awesome happenings at East Chicago Central High School that have taken place in October. First and foremost, it was the trunk or treat, and our students from Central High School dressed up and scared a lot of little kids. It was good to see our students give back to our community by just enjoying time being there, as well as our staff and staff members from School City of East Chicago. They were there representing our school district. We gave out Lysol packets to all of the 1,000-plus kids who probably came by. So thank you for participating in that. Mr. Lane and Ms. Alexander for chaperoning. There are long nights, and they're there always helping, and the rest of the staff that showed up, we really appreciate that. The second item that I want to make mention is the Central High School Haunted Hallway. This event was a complete success, whether you could make it a success because they decorated everything themselves, or the fact that they raised over $100, or the fact that they scared the pants out of their principal when he walked through with Mr. Tokars. The children had fun. I think I posted on my Facebook just how they were excited just to be able to be together and have a good time while doing something for the community. Again, thank you, I call you Coach Brown, but thank you to the Principal Brown, Mr. Tokars, for being there with the line that literally went around the hall, around the outside of students. The community had a great receptive, they received it very well. Mr. Lane and Ms. Katrina Alexander, the nights that you guys put in with these students, we cannot thank you enough for making them be happy for all that. I walked through after it was done, and if you've seen how they decorated, kudos to them. And thank you, Mayor Anthony Copeland and the Parks Department for providing a lot of the costumes and decor to make sure that what they had was done perfectly. And thank you, students, for not breaking the lockers. Also, the ROTC, I see, Ms. Askew, you asked about the ROTC, and they just competed in November. There's something called S'mores Newsletter, and it's able to be seen on our social media. But on there, they have pictures of what happened with ROTC. They have pictures of our dance, the fall dance they had. There's pictures of the haunted hallway. And I don't know if we could get those printed out. I know Harrison does theirs. I think McKinley does one too, S'mores. And I've seen Central's, but maybe we could get them printed out for our meetings, and then they could actually, people could actually see them when they come in, so they could see all the pictures of happenings in our district. Dr. Bagel and Ms. Bagel, maybe you guys could do that for us. I also want to mention on November 10th, we have the Veterans Day celebration at Veterans Park, sponsored by Mayor Anthony Copeland. And the reason why I say it is because we have the ROTC participating. We also have Harrison students participating, as well as we have a student senior singing the national anthem on that day. And that's going to be on November 10th at 10 a.m. at Veterans Park at the gazebo. And the last thing I want to say is, we sit here as a board and we approve curriculum stuff, we approve MOUs, we approve donations, we approve all this positions. But if we don't have a safety plan and our kids cannot be in the building, then there will be no school, there will be no students, no staff. So I want us to make importance of that, and there should be no cost for the safety of our students, is my point, the safety of our staff. Because if they're not in these buildings, then we won't be here. And I want us to remember that when we move forward in budgeting and the money and where we spend it. That's it. Next, we'll have public forum.
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry.
I have, Lincoln Cardinals, our cheerleaders, we're asking for donations. They need uniforms. And the cost of the uniforms is $1,900. So, as a community, and you saw the cheerleaders, we're asking you to please donate to this particular activity. And you can make your donations at Main Sporting Goods. You will be compensated with your receipt. It's tax deductible. So our young ladies, this is the first time that they're doing this cheerleading, and we need to support them. Once we support them, that gives them self-respect. It builds up character. And we need, as a community, to come together and get our babies these uniforms. If you need this letter, I will personally give you mine or get some ran off. But I really want our babies to have these uniforms. So when they perform their games, they can get out and cheer. And I'm not talking about just a little sweatshirt or a little T-shirt. I'm talking about let's present them with the Cardinal pride that we have in East Chicago. Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is public forum.
We have two.
We have to.
And they're present, of course, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, if you could please state your name. It's time for public comment. The public comment section of the meeting is not a question and answer session, but rather an opportunity for the public to participate in a public meeting. Please state your name and your address. Your comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Please be respectful of the board, the staff, and the public.
Priscilla Askew.
Good evening. I would first like to thank the board for those people that did come to the focus group that the public library had, where we're trying to improve our library system at both the main library and the REP, which is a Pastrick branch. And they will be coming back again, so we still need your help in putting in your information of things that you might think that we need in the city of East Chicago, because we are on our way up, making sure that after so many years that we do get a new library. And I agree with you, Ms. Hernandez Orange, in regards to if there was no kids, there will not be no students coming into the building, nor teachers or staff. So we want to make sure that our students are safe, and the teachers as well. I'm not going to forget about you. And Mr. Marlon Mitchell, I know that you're going to take care of it, and we're all going to feel safe after this. Thank you. Oh, please, please don't forget, tomorrow is November the 8th, which if you have not voted, please vote. And we look forward to making sure that this is going to be 1 year that we really need your help. So don't think it's nothing to do, but just please go vote.
Up next will be Helen Steinbeck. I don't need to talk, thank you. That's it.
The next date and time for the meeting would be a special session, correct? Did you guys, on Thursday at 6 o'clock? And 6 PM here in the boardroom, and that's for the teacher's contract, correct?
Yes.
Is there a motion for adjournment?
Madam President, make a motion to adjourn.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for adjournment.
Second.
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Ms. Bigum?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith? Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes.